This video is intended to give you a quick overview of the TomTom Runner 2 watch. This particular model is the GPS cardio with music, which means that you can plug in your Bluetooth headset and listen to music whilst you're running, which I do quite often. For the purpose of this video, I'm assuming that you've already used the watch and set up a profile and you've got an idea of how it works, or you've watched videos online. I just want to show you how easy it is to look at the screen whilst you're running, how easy it is to use it. Now, a lot of the smartwatches that I've used, the screens are incredibly small. There's a lot of info on them. They touch a screen. You go for a run, your hands are sweaty, you touch the screen, it doesn't respond properly. There are lots of issues with them. Don't get me wrong, they're great, but looking at a tiny screen whilst you're running, or having a watch the size of a brick on your arm, it is not always great. One thing I like about the TomTom Runner watch is that although it's not touchscreen, which a lot of people might go, what, not a touchscreen in this day and age? I actually think it's a good thing, because there's a physical button here which you can press up, down, left and right, and that's what you use to go and navigate around all the menus. Okay, now I can just to give you an idea, for example, press down and you get your setup screen, but I'm not going to go into this now because we're purely focusing on the running element, which is really what the main sort of selling point in my opinion is. It's just simplicity. Anyway, in order to get to the running menu and the activities menu to start a run, you press the right hand button, so you press the right hand side and you will get an option to choose your activity. Now, there are other options on here. The watch is waterproof, but you've got cycling, swimming, gym, treadmill, there's quite a few, but let's go back up to running because that's what we're interested in at the moment. So in order to start a run, you press to the right hand side. When you're on the run screen, you've got a few options. You can change quite a lot of the settings and the metrics that are displayed on the screen when you're running. Now, you might say, well, why do I want to do that? It all depends on what you want to achieve. You can decide whether you want the pace as the main bit of information that's on the screen. You want to choose if the time is the main bit of information. It lets you set all of that, and that's what I like about this particular watch. And it's easy. And the other thing I like about it is there's a race mode, and I use it quite a bit because it challenges me, and the race mode is where you race yourself. So I'm just going to show you that now. So press the down button and you get into the screen where you have various options, and these options all relate to the activity that you've selected. Now, workouts is not one that I use much, but if you have a look at it, this relates to the running. So you've got a fat burn, endurance, so it will almost be like a coach. I'm going to come out of that now and go to training. Now, this is where there are some interesting settings. You can select goals, for example distance, and select how long you want to run, select a time that you want to run for, how many calories you want to burn. Now, calories on a lot of smartwatches, and in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of you agree with me, calorie counting on these watches is a bit of a non-event. I would tend to ignore them. I don't really think they serve much purpose. But one of the best options down here is race. What this allows you to do is it allows you to race either something that you've downloaded from the MySports website or your recent runs. So say you've just got a PB in the park run and you want to race that, you can select your recent runs. So for example, there was a 6k I did on the 10th of January. I can select that. I can view it first of all just to see, yeah, I'm happy with that, I'm feeling fit, I can do that. So you select that particular one, off you go, and you come out, and on this particular screen you leave it set on race and then you press to the left, and then you'll be ready for your run. So if I press to the left and then go up again, you can see it says race on there. So if I were to now start this particular event again and press to the right, it will give me a race screen, but it's telling me to wait because it hasn't found a GPS signal yet. But I'm going to come back out of that and go back down to training and put it on none, because I don't want to race. I'm going to just have a plain old run. Now, you don't press to the right or anything, you just leave it on that particular menu. That's the only thing that sort of confused me for the first time I used it, because I left it on something. I went to go for a run, everybody else went off and it was on race mode, and yeah, it wasn't ideal, because I had my heart set on logging what I was doing. Anyway, so go back up. There you go, it's ready for a run. The GPS has got a signal. Now usually you've got the GPS indicator right at the top there. It's not a great signal in here. There you go, you see it's picked up a few more satellites, but anyway, it's ready to get the run. So I'm going to press to the right, and there you are. Now the screen that I had as my main metric was the time, because I like just seeing what time I've done. I know roughly the distance of the course that I'm doing, although it will show me the distance on this particular setting down here, but I like knowing, say, once I've done my 5k, I can have a quick glance and see if I'm on track time wise. You can change the screen that it's on. If you say just want the clock, just press up. You've got the time that you've been running and the distance there. Smaller, it's a bit more difficult to see whilst you're running. So if you press down, you go back to the start screen, and if you press down again, you've got various options. You can have distance as your main screen, you can have your pace as the main screen, you can have your average pace, your calories, again, why would you use it, and your heart rate. And there is another screen for fitness points, but I suggest you look on the TomTom app as to how that works. I don't know why you'd want to see that whilst you're running, maybe as a motivational tool, I don't know, but I just put mine on the active time. Now here's the next thing. If you press to the right, you can see which zone you're in. So it tells you that you're in an easy zone, because I'm actually sat down recording a video at the moment, but if I'm out there going for it, it'll probably say you're in the cardio zone or the peak zone or whatever. It just gives you an indication of what zone you're in. Not sure you really need that, and to be honest with you, you're not really going to look at this whilst you're running. I mean, it's nice, it's a nice screen to see, but it just shows you what's available. It is quite interesting. Like I say, it's not something you're going to use whilst you're running, really, so I'm not sure why they bother putting it on there, but they have. Anyway, assuming that you've just done your run and you've got to the end and you want to stop, you simply press to the left and it will pause your run. Now if you want to finish the race, if you can see, it's got the stop and the continue, so you can press to your right and you can continue run, you can carry on, or you can press to the left and it will stop, or you can go up and down and change the settings again, like we did before we started our run. But just before I stop this particular run, if you look at the little, just above the heart rate, there's a little bar moving along, and that will actually show you your recovery. Now I think it works it out on the heart rate. I'm not sure on the exact formula, but it's nice when it gives you a message saying well done, good recovery. Occasionally, if I've gone for a run and I've really pushed it and my heart rate doesn't go down much from when I stop, so say I finish at 150 beats and it's 120 by the time it's got across, it says poor recovery, but I tend to just leave it on, so it gives me an indication. There you go, poor recovery. From what? Because I haven't actually been doing anything, I don't know, it hasn't been picking up my heart rate, so, but it's given me a poor recovery. Anyway, I'm going to stop the run now, and it takes me back to the home screen. Now if I just want to have a look on the watch and see the previous runs, I press to the right as if I'm going to start the run, and I press up, and there you go, you can see the latest run that it's done, and I press to the right again and you can see the time that we've run for, the distance, pace, the average heart rate and the calories. And I'm sure I didn't burn 3 calories, well I may have done, but as you can see, the calorie sort of item, unless you're really looking at it, just ignore it. But there you go, so hopefully that's given you an idea of how easy it is to use a TomTom Runner watch, and thanks for watching.